Hello everyone, Blaster here again, bringing another video that I'm sure finding interesting if you play Heroes. Today's topic is going to be a new combo tutorial, but for what you may ask, because we haven't had any kind of new support announced or anything. Well, my friends, Konami has decided to release a brand new format at the start of this week that is called GENESYS, and has come to shake things quite a bit. I'm pretty sure a lot of players are going to enjoy this one, especially the old ones. This is going to be an officially supported format. That means that there will be big events for this, and you will be able to win prize support if you do well enough. So what is it about? For starters, Link and Pendulum monsters are completely banned. They are not allowed in this format. And with those gone, they also have changed the playing field back to whatever it was before the release of those summoning mechanics. That means that we no longer have extra monster zones, and we also don't have pendulum zones. So, like I said, perhaps a lot of old players are going to enjoy this. And in exchange for not having those monsters, we will be able to play any card that is available in the card pool that are not those type of cards, including the forbidden ones. So that means that you will be able to play like Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Painful Choice, Last Word, or even Max C if you so desire, but it comes with a catch. Every single card has a point rating attached to it. Let me tell you, most of the cards have a point rating of 0, but the best cards or the most powerful cards have the highest rating. So the goal of this format is to build the strongest deck without surpassing the legal point cap for tournament play, which is going to be 100. Yes, only 100. So if you're looking at the screen right now, you will be perplexed because some of these cards are the ones that you will want to play, but they are very expensive to play. So that means that if you want to play, let's say, Maxi, you can only play 2 of this card because together they sum up 100 points, and you no longer have access to the rest of these cards. So you're like, yeah, it's going to be a really tough to deck build in this format. So that is the challenge, and I actually really like it because I like deck building. So how does that? Why does that matter for Heroes? Well, I'm afraid we got hit by, let's say, like the balancing of this format, because some of our best cards are in this list. For example, Elemental Hero Stratos costs 3 points, Destiny Hero Plasma costs 20, Fusion Destiny costs 33. It's really expensive. That means that if you want to play 3 of this card, you can no longer play Elemental Hero Stratos, you cannot play Plasma, you cannot play DPE, you cannot play even Dark Glow. So it's going to be really harsh. Let's say if you want to play like Fusion Destiny and still have like Destiny Hero Plasma in your deck, you'll have to play like 2 of this card, 1 of this. That's going to sum up like 86 points, and perhaps you can like squeeze a little bit like 2 Stratos. That is going to be 92, and you only have 8 points left. You can choose whatever you want, but I mean, I guess you get the idea. So how are we going to build for this format? Especially because links are gone, and that is a big part of the hero strategy. Because with the links gone, you're losing a hero search with Cross Crusader, you lose direct access to Neos with Infernal Deviser, and you also lose the chance of fusing twice because you no longer have the Wonder Driver. So how do you do it? Well, my friends, this is what I come up with. This is what I recommend you to play in this format. So essentially it's the same, but we are no longer playing Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer because we cannot play like the Fusion Destiny, and because of that we are also not playing Destiny Hero Malicious nor Destiny Hero Denier. I honestly believe that without the links and without Fusion Destiny, there really is no point in playing those cards. So it's sad because Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is a really strong card, it's a really good card that you would want to summon, but in this format we're going to just play Destiny Hero Plasma Turbo, and we're going to protect it with the other parts of the hero combo. That means that we're going to play Favorite Contact, we're going to play Dark Supremacy, and also we're going to have as an end board like the Wing Reaver level 6 and the Elemental Hero Sunrise to protect the Plasma. If you happen to open D-Force, it also grants extra protection. So, and because we haven't spent more points in our deck, that allows us to play more non-engine like Drolan Lockbird, Moon Charming Fuwalos, Ash Blossom and Yogi Spring, and Crossout Designator. This is going to be especially important because the reason why I chose to play this non-engine is because these are the most harmful ones to this strategy, and I want to protect them with the Crossout Designator. Honestly, if we didn't have any sort of restriction of Destiny Hero Plasma, I would be playing more copies of this, and perhaps more copies of perhaps another hand trap like Nibiru and such. But I believe this is as good as it's going to get. It's going to be really harsh because losing the links, that means that you will have to spend more cards in your hand to end on the end board that you always want to end. But I'm going to show you how we're going to do it in just a minute. But also something that is important to mention is that if you don't want to play, let's say, the Destiny Hero Plasma because you want to allocate those points to more non-engine, for example, you could do this, right? You could take out the Plasma and perhaps substitute it with like Liquid Soldier and try to play a more, let's say, more disruption based strategy instead of like a floodgate one, and that allows you to play some more hand traps like Nibiru the Primal Being. Although I know a lot of hero players would not want to do this because they don't want to play perhaps the hand trap approach, and also Nibiru can clash a little bit with hero lives. So another thing that you could be doing is like split the points of those Nibiru, so you can play Book of Eclipse. I honestly believe this card is really good in this format because you don't have to worry about links anymore. So that means that this card is going to hit everything for really no cost. I believe this is going to be better than Droplet, honestly, especially because Droplet is a more expensive card. Not only on the point system, that is also going to be a strain on your plays because you need more cards in your hand to end on a strong end board. And so we also have the possibility to play Super Polymerization, which in this case is going to be an interesting option because you can directly set it with Evil Hero Inferno Rider. And one of the things that I didn't like before, because if you have seen my videos before, you know for the longest of time is that I have never recommended you play Evil Hero Inferno Rider, nor the Dark Fusion, nor the Super Polymerization, because on the advanced format, these cards are really bad breaks. But in this format, because you don't play the links, you have enough space to play like every single elemental hero that it has like the special attribute, right? Like dark, water, light, fire, wind, and earth. So that means that even if you hard open Super Polymerization, is not a dead draw. You can actually use it for what it is, a board breaker. So this is going to be really good. Like, I think a lot of players are going to enjoy this, honestly. There are so many possibilities in this format, but I do believe that the Destiny Hero Plasma is going to be the best version, and I'm going to show you how to get into that end board. So with that out of the way, let's just get started. I'm going to change screens so we are going to see the combo tutorial in Edo Pro, okay? Back. So you guys know how I do this. I always save several replays showing you some openers so you can know what you can do with said openers. Most of them are going to be like the most optimal ones, but we're going to discuss some of the cases where you don't open so optimally. So the first that we are going to discuss is whenever you open Vision Hero Bion and a way to complement the combo with these two cards, because one thing that you have to remember is that we don't have access to linked monsters, so we're losing, remember, the search with Cross Crusader, so we have to compensate that by having like the D-Force to search into Plasma. we lose the direct access to Elemental Hero Neos that we're going to compensate by playing E-Emergency Call, and we no longer have the way to like double fuse with Wonder Drivers. So in this case, we are not going to play the DPE, and we're not going to play Malicious nor Denier. So this is how you perform that combo, and unlike, let's say, the strong end board. This is going to be, let's say, the equivalent of the Vision Hero 1-card combo that happens in TCG on the advanced format, which is that, then again, you have to compensate for the lack of lanes. That is why you have to spend more cards in your hand. But one of the things that I think you need to understand about this is that all decks across the board have been hit. So either like they have to choose either consistency, or they have to choose power, or they have to choose their protection in the form of the non-ending that they're allowed to play. So if you think that this board is not so good, just think about that other decks don't have also like the greatest of boards, right? But honestly, if you ask me, this is essentially the same board that heroes print on a regular basis. It's just a matter that you don't have TP and you have to spend more cards in your hand. You have access to the Dark Supremacy, which is a way to stop board breakers, because I do believe that this format is encouraging you to play board breakers over hand traps. Usually hand traps are more expensive than board breakers, so you need a way to stop that, because if your board gets broken, like you are done, like you don't have a follow-up. And also you have the access to the favorite contact, which you know that you have access to either like the Evil Hero Neos Lord, or you have access to Elemental Hero Shining Neos Wingman, which is going to be a mass pop to protect the plasma, and the next turn just try to OTK. And also you have the added protection of B-Force. This card is crazy, honestly. It has 3 effects that apply whenever Destiny Hero Plasma is on board. Not only it searches Plasma, you also have a continuing effect that applies whenever Plasma is on the field. It has a bad effect, which is we don't have a draw phase, but it comes with the benefit of our opponents cannot target any of our cards, like any of our cards. They are completely protected from targeting, and Destiny Hero Plasma cannot be destroyed by card effects. And not only that, it gains 100 attack points for each monster in the graveyards, and also has a second attack each battle phase. So if you have access to this card, this is really good. I have seen some hero players have a version where they are playing like Foolish Burial Goods, so they can dump like a trap card that searches into this card whenever it's sent to the graveyard. I don't know if that's going to be the best way. Obviously you want to have access to this card, but I don't think it's worth like spending your points on those. I do believe that it's just better either like you hard open it, or you hard open other cards to compensate for the fact that you have to use, let's say, like the Strato Search or the Elemental Hero Shadow Mist Search for the Destiny Hero Plasma. So the next one that we're going to see is whenever you open Elemental Hero Stratos, Vision Hero Fairies, and a way to access into Destiny Hero Plasma. Then again, like some of these cards are interchangeable. You don't necessarily need to open like this exact combination. It's just I'm going to show you like the basic ones, and then you will have to figure it out how to compensate if you open in a different way. So then again, I feel like one of the important things to note here is that usually whenever you don't have access to Neos because you cannot search it, you dump it instead with like either Vision Hero Bion or Evil Hero Dead End Prison. That way you have, let's say, access to it without the need of searching for it. So if you notice, actually this end board is better because not only we have like the Wing Hero level 6, we also have like the Sunrise. We have the Dark Supremacy, the Favorite Contact, and the D-Force protecting the Plasma. And Plasma is just like really strong. Honestly, if your opponent doesn't draw into like most Shami Fuwalos to draw something that could break the board, or like they draw into like draw a lover to stop the combo entirely, or they open like I don't know, like lava golem or a kaiju, they don't have a chance of winning, honestly. And I would say if you fear like the kaiju and such, you could play like Mask of Restrict to prevent tributing, although you have to hard open it, and I don't know, it may be a little silly, but that is an option. Oh, sorry. We're here. And now we're going to see whenever we open like this, this is not like the most optimal opener, because here you have to use Evil Hero Dusted Gold effect to search into the, let's say the Evil Assault, so that means that you cannot use it for searching into Dark Contact like the other replays. So I'm going to show you how to compensate for it. The only bad part about this is that you have to spend an extra card in your hand to perform this, okay? It's not perfect, okay? Sadly, like, you will be spending a lot of cards in your hand with playing this in this format, in this version of the deck. So in this case, we're going to use Shadow Mist to search into Fairies, and then Fairies is going to allow us to dump the Sinister Necrom, and in this one of the cases why you play the Infernal Rider, because otherwise you will have no way to fix the hand to get into that endboard. That is why sadly Infernal Rider is required to play in this version of the deck. So yeah, that's the endboard. Let's say it's a little bit weaker because we no longer have the Sunrise, but it's essentially the same, okay? So we're going to see whenever you open, let's say it's the same case where you have like the Dusted Gold in hand, but you don't have like the Evil Assault, and you open a little bit, let's say on the weaker side, because you don't have like, let's say like an extender as such. But I'm going to show you how you can fix this hand. Then again, just the same, whenever you don't have access to Neos, you dump it instead, so you really have access to it. And also one of the important parts about this version is that you no longer play the double polymerization, because you have really no realistic way to get into the wake up and activate this effect, because that, and also one of the reasons is because you also don't have the one, the driver reset and such. So I've always been a big advocate to play double polymerization, but I think in this format, in this version, there is no reason to play more than one. And then we're going to see what happens if you open, like, you hard open like the Doom Prison, and you cannot make combo out of it except by using these cards alone. You can make the full combo with this, but the problem is that you have to sacrifice the Dark Supremacy, and I think that is a really big part to give up of the combo, but it's just for the sake of ending on the Plasma still. I feel like it's the, you should prioritize summoning Plasma. This is one of those cases where you will have to use Infernal Rider, otherwise you are not getting into this endboard. We use the Infernal Wing Backfire effect to retrieve a Evil Hero monster, so we can discard it for Fairies, and that is how we are performing the combo. So yeah, that's the end board. Then again, sadly, we don't have the Dark Supremacy. But let's say if you were to open like this, right? This is another way to open. Let's say if you hard open the Cross of Designator, one of the cool things about it is that you can integrate it as if it was like part of your engine. Not only is like protection from your opponent if they happen to have like Draw a Lover or like Ash Blossom, or something like that, we can also use it to overextend it. Let me show you how you do that. We're going to play this hand differently. We're going to sequence it differently because the important part here is that we're not going to get access into elemental hero neos in favor of getting more parts of the combo. In this case, we're actually going to get the Dark Supremacy alongside everything else. The only thing that we don't have access here is the elemental hero neos. But don't worry, that is the cool part about this, is because we're going to wait until the end phase to feel what is our opponent in what cards our opponent has in their hand, and if they happen to not use any kind of hand trap, you could use like the Crossout Designator at the end phase to banish the Neos, and that way you have access to Neos and still have like the setup for like the favorite contact. Honestly, really one of the really cool things about Crossout Designator that is not talked that much. So that is going to be the end of the video. Obviously it doesn't mean like these are like the only ways you can do combo. It's just that I'm just showing you ideas so you can understand the flow of the deck and you can come up with other ideas and other ways to fix the deck. But I honestly believe that this is as good as it's going to get for this format. Then again, perhaps you want to like tweak a little bit with the point system. Perhaps you didn't like the plasma whenever you were playing and you want to play just disruption along hand trap, so you take the plasma out and play like Nibiru's, or you can play Book of Eclipse. Whatever you want, right? I already showed you some ideas. You can do whatever you want with your deck. So this is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and remember, if you like the content that you see, please like, share, and subscribe. But if you're not doing that, at the absolute least, okay, absolute least, please leave me a comment because I always love reading your feedback. And with that out of the way, this is Blester signing out, and I hope you guys have a nice week. See you guys later.